Nando, and this is the Pound for Pound Boxing Show in association with Seconds Out Coffee. Today, got a very special guest, the Glasgow Warrior himself, Nick Campbell, is going to join us today. Let's see if we can get Nick on right now. How you doing, champ?
How you doing? Thanks for having me. I'm all good. Hope you're good too.
No, thank you for taking your time to speak to us today. It's an absolute pleasure to get you on. First of all, Happy New Year, Nick. And obviously, let's talk about last year. What a great year for yourself. 4 fights. You stayed more active than most of the heavyweights in the division as well. You made your debut on the Ben Vargas undercard at the Copper Box London. Just tell us how just looking back at your first year as a pro boxer, what did you think of your performance and also your debut as well?
Yeah, I think obviously it being a pandemic we were in the middle of when I first turned over. I was extremely lucky to get the 4 fights, so I was pretty pleased to stay as active as I did. Obviously my first outing as well, being on a massive undercard in the Matchroom show on Sky Sports was a great platform to kind of make my debut. So I couldn't have really went any better, to be honest with you. 4 fights, 4 wins, 4 stoppages, 2 fights on Sky, travelled around Europe for the rest, and I was over the moon with how it went, so I can't complain.
What was it like going even outside the UK as well? Obviously, you fought in Serbia and Germany. What were the fans like out there as well? What kind of reception did you get?
Yeah, Serbia was interesting. That was an experience. There was quite a lot went on behind the scenes there that you went from the kind of the Matchroom show to something at the complete opposite scale. So that was an experience. Germany was good. The people were really friendly, very well organised. It was a good show, good. It was a good atmosphere to be in boxing. And then obviously finishing off at the Wembley Arena was, one of the iconic boxing areas in the UK, was unbelievable. In front of a pretty big crowd with a great slot on TV. So it was a mixture of everything. I fought with no fans, fought across in different countries, then to fight my last fight just before the end of the year with 6,000-7,000 people there was incredible.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what? I think you're showing what other boxers should be doing. If there's no opportunities in the UK and there's opportunities abroad, I think they should take it. And the fact that you went to Serbia and you went to Germany as well so early in your career, I think a lot of fighters should be doing this right now. And instead of, because you're getting a lot of fighters fighting once every 9 months, and they're waiting for that opportunity. Maybe they're looking for the money, they're looking for that big opportunity on a big TV platform. But I think to stay active this early in your career, do you believe is really important to get the rounds under your belt?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously as well, I'm at a slight disadvantage. I'm a bit older than most people that start out in professional boxing, so I've not got time to waste. And like you say, there's people who are maybe waiting for that big show or the slot on TV. I'm not. It's great that I've had that opportunity, but at the end of the day as well, I want to learn and develop as much as I possibly can. So if I've got a fight and I can take a fight, then I'll do it, because that's what I want to do. I want to be fighting, I want to be learning, I want to be building my record. So any opportunity that I get, my team put in front of me, then I'll take it.
For sure. And you must be doing something right, Nick, because your debut live on Sky Sports, you said it yourself, on the Matchroom on a big card like that. Then obviously you went to Serbia and then Germany, and then again Boxer, Sky Sports, and now back on Boxer as well on Josh Taylor's undercard, your hometown in Glasgow. I can see the smile on your face. Big opportunity against Jay McFarlane as well for the vacant Scottish area title. How big is this opportunity for yourself, especially to fight in front of your home crowd as well?
It's huge. Listen, I'm a Glasgow boy, born and bred, so it's a massive opportunity for me to showcase myself in front of my home fans, the guys that I want to eventually get travelling around me wherever I go and supporting me. So, the added fact as well, I'm fighting a fellow Scot. We're fighting for a title that's been vacant for 71 years. It just adds into the pot to make it an amazing night. And also, Josh Taylor's one of the best fighters on the planet. So to even be involved in his show itself is special. So I'm lucky. Listen, I'm lucky. I'm I'm a Scottish heavyweight. We're a rare breed. Like, you know, there's not been two of us around in 71 years to fight for the title. So I'm just blessed that I've got a dance partner there to go on and mix it with. And like I say, get the job done on the 26th.
Of course, it's history being made that night, whoever wins this fight. And Jay McFarlane, you know, compared to your 4 fights, he's had 17 fights, 12 wins, 5 losses, 5 of them coming by KO. What do you know about Jay, and what dangers does he bring to the ring?
He's tough. He's a tough lad. I don't think he's been stopped in any of his losses. He's had some decent enough victories. He's a bit of a character. He's probably a polar opposite from me in that respect. He's very outspoken. He says some pretty outlandish things and tries to get a reaction from people. But you know, he's a bit of a wild card, to be honest with you. But he'd be dangerous. So it's the heavyweight division. It only takes one punch to change a fight. So I need to go in there and I need to be at the top of my game. I need to be switched on with a game plan, and I need to take him serious. I know that Jay kind of plays up to the class clown kind of joker type persona, but I know he's right up for this, and I know that he knows it's going to be a hard night. So I'm getting myself ready for a hard 10-round fight, and that's what I'm preparing for.
Yeah, we can't wait for that night. I'm actually going to be there ringside as well, backstage. I can't wait. I've never been to Scotland, and I can't wait to see the beautiful city of Glasgow as well. And I'm sure the crowd is just going to be unbelievable, the atmosphere. So you will know as well, being from Glasgow, I'm sure you've seen what the atmosphere the Scots can bring as well. So it's going to be a wild night.
Yeah, the Glasgow fight fans are unbelievable. The Scottish fight fans are unbelievable. I'm sure there'll be a lot from both Glasgow and Edinburgh there, with Josh being an Edinburgh boy. So it's going to be unbelievable. The atmosphere will be incredible. Everybody will be right behind all the Scottish fighters, and obviously there'll be a big split for me and Jay when that's up. So it's a fantastic night, and it's a fantastic platform for them to have a Scottish title fight. So let's do it.
Yeah, of course. So obviously history would be made that night. You said the Scottish area title has been vacant for 71 years, so one of you is going to win that title. But I know you as well, and I didn't know this when I read this. You want to make more history because no heavyweight Scotsman has ever won the British title, where you want to be the first one to do it. Is that correct?
Correct. I think when I first got into all this, I didn't get into this to tick a box or to make up the numbers, or I got into this to try and make a statement and do something. I've been a professional sportsman for a long time, since I was 19, back playing another sport albeit, but you know, I've always set myself challenges, and I've always tried to reach those challenges, and I've given it everything. And like I say, I never got in this to make up the numbers or tick a box. So the fact that there's never been a Scottish British heavyweight champion only adds fuel to the fire to be the first one to do it. So like I say, I don't look too far ahead. I've got a tough fight in front of me on the 26th, but it's a small stepping stone in my goal to reaching that level. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a step up in opposition from what I've had in my first 4 fights. Like I said, Jay's a tough lad. I respect him. And I think it'll be a good fight, and I think it'll be an amazing night in Glasgow.
Like you said yourself, you didn't get into boxing to make up the numbers. You know, we grew up watching, obviously, the great 90s era with Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis and all the greats. And then we saw that the heavyweight division died down a bit. You know, it wasn't as popular as it was. Then the other divisions became more popular, the super middleweights, the welterweights. And then all of a sudden, recently, in the last, let's say, 8 years, maybe less, the heavyweight division, especially domestically, I think this is probably the best ever domestic wise the heavyweight division has been. How excited are you to get into that mix with all these great fighters?
Oh, 100%. Listen, like, you don't want to be part of a boring generation. You want to be part of a generation where there's loads of talent, loads of fighters, loads of fights to be made. So, you know, it's a great time to be a heavyweight. There's a lot of guys, and like you said, Britain, there's a lot of guys abroad now. There's the whole division's bustling, especially, and we're lucky that we're blessed with some of the best talent out there at the moment. So I'm just lucky to be a small part of that, and I'm looking forward to my way up the rankings and getting in the mix. So it's fantastic, and there's so many good British fighters that, you know, the domestic rivalries are sometimes the best, I feel. And there's always an edge. So it's going to be exciting to be part of some of those. And I'm looking forward to my first one on the 26th. It's the biggest domestic rivalry you could get, a Glasgow derby. And it's no football.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, we know we've heard the rumours that the British title is going to go between Fabio Wardley and maybe Nathan Gorman as well. You said you don't want to waste time because you got into boxing a little bit older compared to the other fighters. Obviously, getting past Jay and staying as active as you did last year, how soon do you think you can get into that mix of that British title? Do you think if you stayed as active as last year and get 4 or 5 fights under your belt, do you think by the end of the year or by next year you're ready to get into that mix for a British title?
Like I said to you, I don't really try and think too far ahead. I like to just take it one fight at a time. But listen, by the time you get to 10 and 12 and 0, that's when you've got to be thinking about challenging for these kind of things. So, like you say, there's 2 cracking fighters in Fabio Wardley and Nathan Gorman being put forward for that. I think that'd be a cracking fight. But like I said, those guys are 12, 10, you know, and 0. So you need to be getting to that level before you can think about that. And I would like to think by the end of 2022, I'm going to be not far off of that. So, listen, all that I can do is just get in and keep winning, keep performing, keep getting more opportunities and keep building my record. And like you said, hopefully by the end of this year, going into 2023, I won't be far off it.
You talk about these fighters, obviously they're like 12 and, you know, plus and 0 under their belts. And at the moment you're 4 and 0. I'm not trying to stir anything up. When you first came onto the scene, you know, there was one fight I thought about that I would love to see you in. And it makes sense. You both got a big following. You're both 4 and 0. You both got a rugby background as well. What do you think of a future fight with the Romford Bull, Johnny Fisher? I'm sure you've been asked this in the past. What do you think of a future fight, and maybe even at a rugby stadium as well?
Yeah, listen, stranger things have happened. I like Johnny. I think he's a good fighter. He seems like a cracking lad. Anybody I know that's been in his company has said that. But business is business. So if there's a fight to be made and there's an opportunity, then who knows what can happen down the line. He's obviously got a cracking following. He sells a lot of tickets, and like I say, who knows what the future holds. But aye, like you say, it does make sense given that we're both from the rugby background, both, you know, big heavyweights, and aye, let's see what happens. But I'm definitely not opposed to something like that in the future if it should ever arise. But like I say, I try not to think too far ahead because I do have a tough fight in front of me on the 26th, and that's another stepping stone in getting myself into positions like that. So who knows what the future may hold, but I'm kind of fully focused on what I've got in front of me at the moment.
Brilliant. That'll be hopefully one day you guys can get on. It'll be a great fight. You being in the heavyweight division, obviously, I know you're a boxing fan as well, so I just want your opinion on something. Big stories going around today in the heavyweight division. AJ is going to take step aside money. He came out, said it's not true. I haven't signed anything. Let's say he didn't, and the fights that are meant to happen. Just want your opinion and your prediction. Look, if it's Usyk AJ 2, who wins that and why? And if it's Fury versus Dillian, who wins that and why?
You're asking me hard questions now. I don't want to sit in the fence either. It depends what AJ shows up. I think if AJ turns up and makes the fight more of his kind of fight, you know, uses his attributes, I think he can beat Usyk. But if he tries to box him, I think Usyk's too good. That's playing right into his hands. The guy's incredible. Had however many 100 amateur fights, all that experience as a pro. So it's an interesting fight. For me personally, I would like to see AJ do it because he's a fellow Brit. He changed his life round. He's a great ambassador for the sport. So I'm going to go with, I think AJ's going to have enough in the tank and enough knowledge to adapt his game and beat Usyk. That's what I would like to happen. And Fury and White, I think Fury's too good. I think Dylan's a cracking fighter. He's a warrior. But I just think Tyson's the best heavyweight on the planet at the moment. So I really can't see past him. But I think it'll be a cracking fight. Who knows? Like I said, anything can happen in the heavyweight division, but my money would have to be with Tyson.
As a boxing fan, in your honest opinion, because we've had fights in the past that were kind of like the dream fights, and the only one in the recent years that we got to have, but it was too late, was the Floyd Pacquiao fight. Do you think, as boxing fans, we will get treated to the AJ Fury fight, in your opinion?
I think it always makes sense financially for both fighters because there's enough interest behind it, whether there was all the belts or no belts in that fight. Obviously, all the belts adds an edge to it that everybody wants, but I do think it needs to happen. There's been so much hype, so much talk around it, so much back and forth. You know, there's, like you say, it's just one of those fights of a generation that grips everybody. It'd probably be the biggest UK heavyweight fight of all time. I'm sure it would sell out Wembley or whatever arena they wanted to have it in. So 100%. I think it does have to happen. If it could happen with all the belts on the line, that would be even better. But I think Usyk and I think Dillian Whyte will have something to say about it. So let's just see what happens. Who knows with the step aside? Who knows with... It's going to be an interesting year ahead in the heavyweight scene.
For sure. Nick, 2 more questions. First of all, do you have a message for the fans that don't have to travel too far to get to the SS Hydro on the 26th of February, and the ones that are going to be tuning in on Sky Sports? Do you have a message for them?
I'm looking forward to fighting in front of my home fans. It's been a dream of mine since I was a young kid. Even before I got into boxing, I've always wanted to perform in front of my hometown, and I won't let them down. And the fans who are tune in because I think it's going to be a cracking fight, and I think it's going to have an exciting ending. And I think I'm going to win. So tune in, support me, and let's get the show on the road.
Brilliant. I think you just answered the second question, because I was going to say what's going to happen on 26th of February.
Yeah, listen, like I said, I've got a lot of respect for Jay, but I wouldn't be taking this fight if I didn't think I could win. I back myself, I back my ability. Like I say, I train hard the whole year round, and I'm coming in there to do the business on the 26th. I don't have any doubt in my mind it's going to be a tough night, but one thing you can be sure of is I'll be walking out there with a belt.
Brilliant. Nick, first of all, I want to say thank you for taking your time to speak to us today. Congratulations so far. 5th fight. You're living your dream to fight in front of your home crowd, and for your first belt, a belt that's been vacant for 71 years. I wish you the best of luck that night, and I look forward to meeting you that night as well backstage when you bring the belt home.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys, and
thank you.
Looking forward to the 26th. Thank you.
Thank you. Stay safe. Take care.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.